With traders you can buy food, get building material, sell your products to NPCs, or fill your own supply gaps. And if a trader can't find any specific task, he will always be on the lookout for external deals. These just earn you money and keep the economy going. Today I will only focus on the basic trader setup and how you can keep them from harm. Special jobs like buying food for your outpost will be covered in another episode. If a trader transfers goods with a station, he will always interact with money in some way, shape or form. Traders are always home-based to an outpost, and each outpost can only support a limited amount. If your trading fleet is supposed to grow, your empire also needs to. See, there is the balance again. More traders means a larger empire means harder enemies, and harder enemies require more defense. You get the idea. We start off by giving money to the outpost. Our traders will spend it to buy goods. Traders will always use the money from their home base account, not your personal account. How much money a trader can spend on a single purchase depends on the factory type he's buying from and his remaining cargo space. Many trade ships are able to hold a full stock from most factories. Such a run will cost you anything between 50 and 100,000 credits. In the end you want to keep around 100,000 credits for each trader in your outpost's account to pay for these purchases. But you can also very well start off with much less money. Right now my account is just short of 300,000 credits. This is close enough to the bare minimum I would recommend to you. If you have much less, you should continue to handle all your trading manually like you did during your ascension. I have 3 ships I want to set up as traders. At the same time I want to spend part of my money on crafting material to build more factories. Selling their products will make additional money which I can use for more traders, more crafting material and also for the first ship construction resources. And I also need to continue paying my frequent maintenance from my personal account. Lots to think about, so I have to use my cash carefully. I'm going to set a limit on how much each trader will be allowed to spend on a single buy action. To do that, open your Outpost Manager. Go to the Logistics section and switch over to Traders. This is your Outpost's trade list. On default it's empty, there are no wares on it. Traders will only ever care about external trading between other factories. And that's exactly what we want now. Just making some trading profits. This is the external trade maximum value I was looking for. Use the home and end keys on your keyboard to set values like these to their maximum or all the way down to 0. Then I always type in the exact number I want and then just use the left and right arrow keys to increase or decrease by this step. In this case I'm using 60,000 credits. Remember, a factory selling a full stock at the lowest price will roughly be between 50 and 100,000 credits, depending on the factory type. With this setting, I'm basically saying that I don't want my traders to buy a full stock of the most expensive goods, because I don't have the money yet or I don't want to risk losing the freight to pirates. You can also tell your traders to not fill their cargo hold if you set this even lower, down to 30 or maybe 20k. This setting can also solve almost any early game trading problem you can think of. Keep an eye on your traders in the beginning and check what they do. Sometimes they can't sell their stuff properly and will buy something else instead. This will blow some money again, and your trader might also drag a full cargo load along and run out of cargo space. This makes him ineffective until he can sell his unsellable freight again. All of these problems tend to be related to the early game because you don't have many trading partners or you lack the cash to do other trades with more valuable goods. These kinds of problems will usually disappear once you have more cash. Like I said, 100 grand for each trader works quite well. and also once you can reach more factories to trade with. Your traders will never get stuck to the point of requiring any manual input. They can just be a bit ineffective from time to time. If you experience any problems like low volume trade runs or unwanted cash drain, lowering this line here will usually solve everything. But of course you will eventually want to trade unrestricted and maximize your cash flow. For me, 60 times 3 traders means I'm going to give my outpost 180k to work with. Each trader will be able to make exactly one purchase and turn it into profit again. If a trader would run out of money for whichever reason, he will send me a message and resume once this outpost gets more money. I can simply add more money to the outpost myself or wait until another trader sells again. With 300,000 in liquid cash in the bank, I can't just lean back and leave cash flow only to my 3 traders. Not quite yet, especially since they will soon be busy with buying crafting material too. Now let's talk about trader safety. I want to keep them alive and out of harm's way. Most of my current net value is invested in them and their trading money. It would be very unfortunate if a random pirate or worse blew a trader up, especially if he just blew a lot of my money to buy something. Overall, security is kind of bad in this scenario, and I chose it exactly for this reason, to show you that you can usually reduce the risk for your traders down to a minimum, regardless of your map location. I got Xenon patrols from the north and random pirate scoundrels from a base 1 sector east. I can't just let my traders roam free all over the place. They would certainly get themselves killed and I would lose them. There are 2 angles how you can approach this problem. Either direct protection with escorts or by avoiding danger zones entirely. The method of choice is situational. Since security is especially bad for me in this game, I'm just going to do both. And I'm starting with the escorts. I recommend that you tell 2 fighters to protect the trader to deal with a common pirate attack. This isn't the perfect solution, but most pirates roam alone and they shouldn't be a problem. Some more advanced freighter designs also have a lot of guns, and they can already defend themselves decently, at least out of sector, and if you arm them properly. But in the end, avoiding trouble altogether will be more important. It's my preferred way to keep traders safe during the very early game, and it's all about effective use of a sector blacklist in conjunction with your outpost's worker range. Your ships will often use a fly-safe command routine to avoid dangerous sectors on default, but only if there are even any alternative ways. More often than not, this doesn't work too well, but you can put additional safeties in. The worker range can be found in your outpost's station parameters. It's the maximum sector distance in which all workers from this outpost will be checking for targets. The target for a trader are stations he can trade with. The default range is 4. I will decrease it to 3 for now. So I can reach 1, 2, 3 sectors to the west, all the way to Okeanos Prime. And also 1, 2, 3 jumps to Consecrated Fire. Broncar's Trial, and so on. 3 jumps in every direction. The goal is to keep my traders in the southwest area over here. There are enough factories to start with. I want to keep a certain distance to the Xenon up north and the pirates to the east. The blacklist is a global setting which you can use to exclude certain sectors. It can be found in your player console. Since it's global, you only need to do this once and all workers will respect it. To add a sector, simply click Add and then click on it on the galaxy map. It's important to note that blacklisting a sector does not make it a no-fly zone for your ships. The blacklist only prevents that your workers will be checking for targets in these sectors. They will totally fly through a blacklisted sector to reach a factory in another sector behind it. That's why you also need to blacklist all reachable sectors behind a dangerous one. Especially early in the game, a very restrictive blacklist can save your traders' asses. It's better to keep your workers out of entire clusters if you think trouble might be lurking on the way. I'm blacklisting all sectors which can be reached in 3 jumps and which lie behind the Xenon sector or the pirate base. Take a moment and be precise here. I know that this is a rather extreme example, but I want to make a point. I have read many posts about traders ignoring the blacklist, but it actually works as intended. Always remember, the blacklist prevents that workers check a sector for things to do. They will ignore the blacklist if there is no other way to reach their destination. And they aren't smart enough to know if this destination would require travel through a blacklisted zone. Just keep this in mind and you shouldn't face any problems. So to summarize, this is roughly the current worker range of my outpost. Traders will operate in this radius. All reachable sectors north and east are off limits because all of them are blacklisted. I can stick to this Paranit cluster and do my early trading there. I already put some satellites in these sectors. They have a lot of different factories to keep my traders busy for a while. If trading opportunities start to get more rare, I can always extend my worker range to get more trade partners. But this can also inflate your blacklist quite a bit. A too restrictive blacklist or worker range can leave your traders with too few places to trade with. They should still turn in a profit, but to make real paper you need to make your surroundings safer and slowly lift the blacklist again. You can also use the blacklist to restrict trade with certain factions without being hostile to them. In Mayhem 3, trading with someone usually means that you are also helping him to crank out more military ships. There might be situations in which you would like to avoid that. Finally, we can start a trader. This is very easy to do. You can just use any cargo transport ships, TMs, TS or TP. No additional software required. Just open its command console and set your new outpost as the home base. Now you will find the trader command in the worker section.